All right, welcome. We're in week 4, Wilds of Eldraine League. This is our Monday night feature matches, and we're starting off with an elimination match here. We got somebody's life is on the line, and that's going to be none other than our 2022 Player of the Year, Cody-Rayce. He is at 10 losses, already taking a mulligan here, and he's up against his, I guess, become a friendly rival of his, John P. Goku or go home. So, what is John looking at in his hand right here?
John's looking at the perfect hand to put Cody 6 feet under. No, it's a pretty decent hand, though. It's 4 lands with an Edgewall in, Minstrosity, Tough Cookie. Just drew into the Hopeless Nightmare. And then you just saw he sent the Scavenger on an adventure. So a very aggressive hand. What's Cody rocking with?
Yeah, so we're gonna see really sort of a showdown here of the foundational question of this league because we're getting 10 packs of Mom versus 9 punishment packs of Woe on John's side. Cody's playing Esper deck. He has a few blue cards which he can't yet cast. So the only other castable in his hand is the Traumatic Revelation, which is you could look at your opponent's hand and discard a creature, battle, or planeswalker, and if you don't, you get to incubate. The rest of his hand is unfortunately blue cards. I mean, there's a couple good ones there. There's Halo Forger, Invasion of Amonkhet. Then there's the Protocol Knight, which is the 4-drop that taps something with a stun counter if you have another knight. So he's going to need to get some blue mana here in order to keep in the game.
Interesting. I mean, John does have the ability to dump his hand right here just by dropping down the Nightmare and the Cookie, and he would just have only 2 lands left in hand. So, I mean, if anything, Cody, at least, if I'm correct, Revelation, if you don't get anything from the hand, you at least incubate.
Yeah, I believe you incubate 3, so that's pretty good. Yeah, it's definitely not like a Thoughtseize effect because you can only take creatures and I believe battles and possibly planeswalkers. Cody's on another blue card here, so it might be a bit of a rough go because even if John doesn't cast anything for the rest of the game, he could just attack with a 4/4 food like from here on in if he wants. He has 2 foods, so
He could, but he did scry another Scavenger on top, so it's hard to believe that he's not going to want to go make enough food.
yeah, more food.
And
More
sending
food
the
is
other
good.
one from the Adventure Zone in there and prep up for next turn.
Yeah, more food is good.
I mean, outside of Thallid, Cody doesn't really have good blocks. It's just keep me alive as long as possible.
Yeah, because his blue cards are uncastable, so and they're all very good, but
Yeah.
uh, Halo Forger. I mean, right now Halo Forger doesn't do anything. Invasion of Amonkhet will at least give him a card and maybe fuel up something that he could do. But and the Sleep Cursed Fairy also will not be very good here. That rare that comes in with 3 stun counters, it's not going to be particularly useful at this time. So yeah, Cody-Rayce and John, they become friendly rivals. They used to kick off the league. So every league they'd play the first match of the league Friday 5 p.m. week 1, and usually the loser would have to do something. They'd have a little friendly thing. They'd have to do something mildly humiliating. But now they've upped their game and they've gone to the me and Johnny playbook of once one of them gets to 10 losses, they give the other person the first chance to eliminate them. So they've upped their game from friendly opener to the league to dark, dreary bloodshed here towards the back half of the league.
Become an interesting trend we start seeing going forward. I'm assuming Cody did not get any blue mana
Not,
as we saw him drop the
still has the
swamp.
blue cards
I
there.
thought it was curious that John decided to play the inn instead of playing his forest and dropping his scavenger on an adventure. I guess
I
there might be
mean,
something he might want to buy back a
the
little later
Edgewall
that
Inn
we
can
won't
get
go
back the
online.
Scavenger once he runs out of things to do, but it honestly doesn't look like he's going to be running out of things to do here. He can pretty happily attack
I
with
don't think so
everything
either.
except the cookie. I mean, I'd even be okay trading the monstrosity for the token here. Like, I'd feel
Yeah.
okay about it. I mean, John doesn't, so he's just going to
So I
attack
mean,
with the ones that the ones that he could trade for both creatures.
he does have Lord Skitter's blessings in hand,
Oh,
so
that's
he
a good
might be
one.
looking to see if he might be able to pump his monstrosity to a 4/2. If
Okay.
Cody decides to double block
Yeah, the Lord
the
Skitter's
3/2.
blessing might get this game really lopsided a bit towards John. If Cody doesn't draw his blue, so he had his first hand was a 1-lander which he had to send back, and now he's staring at just a bunch of blue cards, beautiful, lovely blue cards, but unfortunately they're just rotting away here. Yeah, so the Thalid dies, makes a little 1/1. And here comes the Blessing, and Cody needs something and real fast now. And he's drawn
Kind of
one of my favorite
interesting.
cards from March of Machine Leagues. He's drawn probably the best non-rare from my deck in March of Machine League, but Corruption of Tawashi is of no help here.
Corruption of Squashy is amazing. But I mean, John just got a Curse the Werefox and Welcome to Sweet Tooth. So,
All
I mean,
right.
he can definitely start pumping out this aggression here.
So this game is going to be pretty much done in the next couple turns here. Even an island off the top is not going to be enough here. No, none of these, no one card in Cody's hand is going to do enough against this board that's already built out. Yeah,
It
so
would take
just
John taking this game a lot slower, but I don't think John's looking to do that anytime soon.
I mean, he has no reason to, so he's now going to offer up the monstrosity unless he has a trick in hand. He says, "I don't want to
No
trade for one
tricks, just
token,
treats.
but I'll trade for two." That was his decision.
I would think Cody wants to double block here. Like, even like it's worth the risk, right? You definitely want to get it off the field
I don't think
by
he
any
has a
means possible, so
choice.
your opponent can't just keep drawing.
It
Yeah.
feels more or less forced to me at 10 life with no way of stopping the other damage. This at least, is a way of stopping this damage. And welcome to Sweet Tooth.
I mean, at the very least, John won't get another card on his upkeep, just one
Well,
this time instead of two.
Cody's drawn a card that isn't blue, but unfortunately it's 5 mana, so his Invasion of Tolvada is not going to do too much. That's the battle that reanimates something.
Tolvada is one insane card that I slept on and then got absolutely wrecked in a store championship with, and it went a lot higher on my pick order.
Okay. Yeah, so
We'll,
Cody's
we'll
sort
see if
of
he gets it again in game two.
yeah, so Cody's deck again, very very March and Machine heavy. He was really the first one to start opening March Machine, and people were like, "Holy, you know what? Some of these rares he got opened like a Grim Grin. I know he has an Itali, though he's playing Esper, so that's not in his deck. But he just kept opening hits, and every time that Cody opened a pack, people were like, "Oh dear lord, what does he open now?" Uh, but he has a pretty straightforward blue black deck. He's splashing white for well, the Virtue of Loyalty is a bit of a tough splash. I would imagine. I'd find that to be a tough splash. His other white card is the Invasion of Tolvada. So his deck is blue black. It's not like straight three colors or splashing five cards. It's just the two white cards there. But he's got four preening champions. So we'll see if he can draw some blue mana and deploy his strong blue cards here.
Yeah, I mean, get on the board early and get one of your bombs down, and just hope the bomb kind of takes over. John was kind of on a pretty streamlined green black plan. I believe I only saw one blue card in the Elusive Otter. You can always just cast the Adventure side, which is pretty nutty, right? So it's like, why
Yeah,
not?
I think Cody has asked the audience, "Is this a trap?" If I mull, I'm getting less
No.
lands. So he has a two
Yeah, John
lander.
has an interesting hand
Yeah.
here.
All right. He has a two
You
lander
say he has two
here.
lands?
He has two lander, and everything else in his hand costs four and up. So he needs to draw basically a land.
Now, okay, he just moused over. I was curious what the word on the Fey was, but it's two.
Yeah. What's John
John
saying?
does have the he's got the black enchantment that kills creatures CMC two or less, but that ward two it's going to be a nuisance. And the rest of the hand is just a Sweet Tooth Witch, the Oof, and then a Huntsman and a Up the Beanstalk.
So Cody is
Interesting enough, John doesn't
bopping his
have
land
green
around
mana.
before he puts on the battlefield here. And the sleep cursed fairy has awoken.
Yeah, we see a reverse of game one where John is having mana issues, and if Cody can kind of just run him down, that could just be the end of the game.
All right, so he's got his land here. He can deploy his Protocol Knight, which will just be a 3/4 really. The rest of his hand is Vanquish the Weak, Corruption of Tawashi. He has a Grim Grin, which is quite the threat, and a Merciless Repurposing, which is that 6 mana exile spell. Exile a creature, and you get to incubate. Well, the witch is going to kill the fairy here.
Sadly,
It's gonna cost John his whole turn, but I'm sure he's happy to get it off the board.
Well, we really don't have many other options over here. Like the only other castable we have in the hand is Rat Out. We
Well,
have 3 green cards and no green mana to play.
Cody needed to draw land, and that's what came. So I think we're seeing sort of the we're basically seeing the opposite of last game. So or a mirror
Yeah.
image, as it were. John unfortunately kept a hand where he had a couple spells he could cast, but needs his second color or his main color. And Cody was in the same spot last game, so could see
It's definitely
another quick one here, depending.
another Witch's Vanity on top. Sal's going to go to the graveyard. Really need that green mana if there's any chance of a comeback here.
Or a kill spell for Grimgrin to at least not die immediately.
Yeah. I guess
Does
John's going to say we're just going to go in
does John
the
have an
aggressive
instant?
here.
Does John have an instant here? Because Grimgrin can untap, right?
Yeah, he might not realize that he has Rat Out, but I mean, Rat Out's not going to drop it low enough to die to a 3/2.
But Cody's at 21. He says, "I'm not going to risk it." He could be playing something weird. There are some cards that could get him there. Sugar Rush if John's playing that, or
Definitely the smart player.
-X, or if there's a few
Well,
things.
plus, I don't really think Cody wants to get rid of his 3/4 anyway to untap Grimgrin, right? It's a sacrifice something else and then
I
untap him.
mean, it depends how badly he wants to attack with a Grimgrin, but let's see what comes of this. So he's got his Vanquish the Weak. He's
Can't
got his
imagine
Corruption
he's
of
too
Tawashi.
scared.
He got his Merciless Repurposing. So he can choose what to do. He's just going to attack with the 3/4. Does John have something here or is he just cashing in his
I believe John just
very
wants to
poor
get the
card?
draw out of it. Like I said, the only thing he has castable is Rat Out. In hand, it's just 3 green cards with no green mana.
Oh, and now he's got a beautiful Corruption of Tawashi here. So I'm a fan of that one.
So you see he has a Vanquish the Weak in hand. John just drew in the Lord Skitter's Blessing, and if he doesn't really draw anything else, he's going to walk right in that Vanquish.
Yeah, well, the Vanquish the Weak is actually it's going to put this witch above 3 power, but the Merciless Repurposing in his hand can get rid of anything. So he's the next couple threats looks like he can handle here. High Fate Negotiator can get killed by Vanquish the Weak. So
You know, I don't know why I was thinking Vanquish was CMC. It's just power, isn't it?
no, we have a version in Wilds of Eldraine, but that one cares about the mana cost.
Okay.
So it's similar cost.
I'm
It's a 3
forgetting
mana
Cody's just
instant.
all mom.
So he's gonna flip his card here, flip his incubator, draw a card, and that's an Arch Priest of Shadows he just drew, which is that backup creature that can reanimate things. A very big bomb. Now he's going to attack for looks like 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says
That's definitely
I'll cash it by three
the
four now.
board.
Cody-Rayce says telling us all I love lands.
That's going to be the game.
Yeah, they don't see a way out of this. Have to kill both.
Yeah, I assume game 3, right? Both players will probably try and aggressively maul if they don't have a decent starting hand.
Yeah, are we gonna get both players on their full, being able to cast all their spells? We shall see. But yeah, there's very few woe cards left here in Cody's deck by by the 10th pack of Marcher Machine. Very few. He's got the High Fate Negotiator. He's got not too much Minstrosity, Feed the Cauldron, like very little. He has a lot.
I can say I'm
good...
proud to announce that John is all woe. There's not a single mom card in here.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, so Cody's got quite the collection of rares here: the Archpriest of Shadows, the Grimgrin, Invasion of Tolvada, the Sword of Once and Future, Chrome Host Seed Shark. Just the hits keep coming here, but I mean he's at 10 losses, so he needs to stay alive here. He is fighting for his life and hoping the shuffler cooperates, because that hand could have gone south. That starting hand.
That's been the story of his league so far, though, right? He's been saying that the shufflers, he just had really a string of unfortunate events where the hand just doesn't work out. I think he's had 3 different builds now, and I know this is between one of the two that he's been enjoying. It's just interesting when you look at his pool, you go, "Wow, man, I don't see how this deck loses." While the shuffler apparently does a lot of work.
Well, he's got another one of those hands. He's got 2 blue cards, 2 black cards, and his lands is Island, Island, Plains. But he's drawn a swamp.
Ooh.
So he's actually on pace to
So
just cast his spells. What's John holding?
seems we have a workable game this time. John's got the 2 lands on the field, one in the hand, and then rat out the Devourer, Curse of the Werefox, and then the Champion.
Yeah, good chance that the Hollow Scavenger or anything else John cast this turn is gonna get nailed by the spell stutter here. So that's gonna be a nice one.
Mm-hmm.
Alternatively, he could vanquish the weak, but I mean, I think this is just like you have the chance to use your mana. And I was drawing a Halo
I
Forager,
would
so
think,
that could be good with the Deadly Derision or the Vanquish the Weak he has in hand. So
yeah,
looks like
I
he's
think
gonna
the
be
rule of
able.
thumb with cards like Spell Stutter
Yeah,
is use it when you can, right? Because if you don't use it on 2, you play something on 3, then it kind of just gets stuck there for a little bit.
yeah. Anything that doesn't outright counter a spell, I usually just try and fire off, no matter how bad the target might be. I just try and fire it off as early as possible. I think this
Plus, with
sweet
Cody being out
tooth,
of well, you
yeah,
probably didn't have many fairies.
this witch is going to be considered weak here and vanquished as a result, I believe.
Yeah, I think what John needs now is to try and hit lands 4 and 5s. The rest of his hand is actually castable.
Oh, so he's on track to cast no spells then for the next little while. Is what you're saying?
Luckily, he just drew another witch, but the issue is the Devours for the Werefox or the Curse requires a
Yeah.
creature to kill something else. The Champion is a 5-drop, and the High Fate Negotiator is another 5-drop.
So
And
Cody's
outside, like
looking
Rat Out's
over.
probably not much.
Cody's thinking about casting Deadly Derision on this creature, which I'm not entirely comfortable with the idea. But he sees John's missing on lands. I mean, like Deadly Derision can kill anything. Um, Cody's 1 land away from just casting Halo Forger and then recasting his Vanquish the Week on that Sweet Tooth Witch. He could take 3 for a turn. But he says, look, I'm going to kill it. I have the mana. I can Deadly Derision the next thing with my Halo Forger. And he's got a nice draw here for the turn with the Aerialist. This one's just such a solid card. These flip cards were just so strong. And look, he gets to ramp, and he puts a threat into play. That fortress can really get the pain flowing. Looks like John drew Wish's Vanity, so that'll at least keep that flyer off the board. So still no lands. I'm guessing.
We're still in No Land City over
Yeah.
here. It's not great.
So Cody's got not a super fascinating, interesting creature here, but the Order of the Mirror. He can flip into a 3/3. He can start getting some work done, perhaps. John does have 3 food, so
Oh,
he'll be
so
able to
remember,
keep his life
John
total
does have the
reasonable.
Rat Out from turn 1.
Okay. Looks like Cody says I'm just gonna attack for 3 here and gain 2. So Restless Fortress, just they've really pushed this whole cycle of creature lands real strong.
Yeah, I think they're phenomenal. I mean, John just drew another Scavenger, but I believe he's waiting for a chance to use his Rat Out. I'm going to assume he's going to try and wait for Cody to flip it.
Yeah, Cody does have a Cyber Cryptomancer, so that can cancel that order.
That's going to be unfortunate. Can't blame a man for trying, though, right?
Looks like he might just animate his land and attack both, and then the rat out. Uh, I mean, I guess in this case he can just Cryptomancer when he tries to rat it out in combat. So,
Yeah. I mean, in
well,
Cody's mind, right? Like, you just watched your opponent send the Scavenger on an adventure instead of playing it.
yeah.
So you think your opponent has something. It's either that or they just want to eat their food in your mind, right?
Well, once he has 4 food, I don't think the fifth one has as much value here. Looks like he's going to protect his knight here, and that's going to be a 4/4 now on the backside, which is going to be very difficult to deal with.
So we just drew Lord Skitter's blessings. This is got to be infuriating not to hit your fourth land this late.
Yeah, looks like Cody can get this game over with pretty swiftly here. He does have the Halo Forger left as his last card. They can just straight up kill this Scavenger. So
Let's see, what direction is Cody going to take here? I'm not really
I
sure.
think he's just gonna
Like,
go
how
for
does
the.
John get out of this?
Well, I mean, he has lots of food, but he doesn't have enough time or mana to use it all before he's gonna die here.
Yeah, I mean, gaining 3 a turn, you still have to hit your land drops, and you don't really have
So
anything castable.
So he's gonna save the Halo Forger. He says, "I just have nice clean attacks here." I mean, I guess the Hollow Scavenger gets to block the 1/4, yeah, but it still deals 2, so that's fine.
So now there's a Dream Thief drawn for the turn.
Yeah, it's not.
Still can only do one thing.
Yeah, well, he can gain 3 life here. That's the main thing he can do.
Yeah, John's looking. So he's surveilling a candy grapple right now, trying to think, is that something that's worth keeping?
I think he has to, right?
I mean, at this point, yeah, it's either like kill spells or land.
Another land here for Cody. Let's see if he decides to deploy his fortress again, or if he decides to cast this Halo Forger. I think he's gonna cast the Halo Forger, get this 3/2 off the board.
Yeah, I would think the Forager is the safer move for the turn, and then just animate your land next turn.
Yeah, the land is guaranteed damage, but this time the Hollow Scavenger can actually block it profitably.
Yeah,
Halo Forger, it is a fairy also, so that
is
may come
it?
up
Huh?
once in a while in this league.
I think Wizards knew what they were doing when they were designing these sets.
I don't know if they knew what they were doing when they were designing Marcher Machine. I think they just said let's do whatever the heck we want to do.
There's got to be one, but like I can't think of a fairy lord. But there's got to be a fairy lord, though, right?
There's not a fairy lord in this set. There's the black
I mean,
blue
in general.
legend uncommon. Uh, it basically makes opponent lose a life whenever you have a fairy come in. Looks like he's gonna actually have mana for everything now with the second treasure here. So this forces a block. Yeah, so with the second treasure from the Deadly Derision, he actually did have enough mana to animate his land and cast Halo Forger and kill the Scavenger while John's sitting there on 3 lands. So
Yeah,
looks like
that's
there's
going to
nothing.
lock up the game here.
Looks like there's nothing you can do. Even if he goes up to 8, he's taking 10 from the land.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean,
Sure.
there's that. But
Well,
the
now we
land
see
still
2
kills him.
lands on top of the deck.
The land still the fortress still kills him here. Another land for Cody,
Yeah.
but so looks like in the Mom versus Woe showdown, we got Mom has taken this one, but it's more like the mana situations in all 3 of these games just made them less competitive than we would have liked to see. So congratulations to Cody. He lives to fight another day, and congratulations to him. And we'll be back later for our second match of the evening.